Great Women of the Apocrypha, Judith. Represented by Robert J. Bagley, M.A. Read for you by Steve Cook. The Apocrypha, an Introduction. Since 382 A.D., when St. Jerome began his historic revision of the Latin Bible, to the present-day version of these works, the books known collectively as the Biblical Apocrypha, or simply the Apocrypha, have been distinguished by controversy, acceptance, inclusion, exclusion, and curiosity. The word Apocrypha originates from the Greek word apokryphos, which means hidden, referencing its selective state in different renditions of books. Consequently, many have sought to discover why this is so. For many, this relates to a sense of the forbidden, which has swirled around these books, even though the Apocrypha was included in the Old Testament of the ancient historic churches. Others feel that it plays against their personal beliefs. When Jerome settled in Bethlehem in 388, he devoted the last 34 years of his life to translating the Old Testament from its original Hebrew text into Latin. He, as many other scholars to follow him, made notes about the apocryphal books and their relative value in terms of Scripture. Jerome completed the Vulgate in 405 A.D. Upon his death on September 30th, 420 A.D., Jerome was buried in Bethlehem, making the Latin Vulgate the standard Bible for the Western world. The Apocrypha is considered to be valuable because it was included in the Greek translation of the primary Old Testament, named the Septuagint, or LXX, of the early Church. 70 scholars completed the Septuagint, which roughly translated actually means the 70. This translation would soon be known as the Old Testament, which Jesus and his apostles would have known. The books called the Apocrypha were written during the 3rd to 1st centuries B.C. They would get their origins from such diverse places as Alexandria, Egypt, Antioch, Syria, and Israel. Some of these books were written in Greek, which was the common language throughout the Mediterranean during those times and continued to the time of the New Testament. Many of these works were originally written in Arabic and Hebrew before they would be translated into Greek. The Apocrypha has been part of the Roman Catholic, Eastern Orthodox, Coptic, and other ancient churches which have a history tracing back to apostolic times. But it has not been recognized as scriptural by Orthodox Jews or Protestant Christians. These books have been published in many historic Bibles, albeit in different parts of those Bibles, for example, within the Old Testament, between the Old and New Testaments, added in appendix form after the New Testament.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?